this is the east side of the property, and then you've got the front. You've got two accesses, driveway off the service road, and then that's I-30 up there. And this does lead directly to downtown to 380, which goes to McKinney. The side of the big building on the far east side of the property, lots of trees. It's all gated there. And then this is just back through this center hallway where you can kind of see the big warehouse back through there. And there's just really not mirrored, glass wall offices throughout here. This is kind of a big center area. It would be a conference room. It's pretty well intact. And then this comes into kind of the main office space, looking right off the front door here. There's your front door. You can see I-30. There's some more offices down there. This is kind of where it's that double drop ceiling. You can see the beams up there and all the insulation is still intact. And it's really a pretty high ceiling to the beamed area. And this just leads into, that is the warehouse ceiling there, and this is that loft space that I'll show you next. You can kind of see through the drop ceiling where they've ripped it out. That's all the top, the beams and the ductwork. This is the loft space with a bunch of ductwork. It's above the front office rooms that they've ripped some of the lights and ceilings down in. It overlooks the smaller warehouse. It's got two doors over there. And then you've got another rolling door over there. This is one of your heaters. Got another heater in that far corner. They don't think has been vandalized just because they're high up. And then there's all the electrical. It was 3-phase. And this is just steps down. Just another view of the smaller warehouse. The loft space where I was standing. Warehouse. This is a small break room. Can't really see very well, but it's just a small break room. There's a counter and some cabinets in there. And then it has two doors that open into the larger warehouse. We've got a door to the outside here, and that's overlooking that smaller warehouse there. And then those lead back into the main front office. You can't really see all this, but this is just various office space coming off of that big warehouse. Some bookcases, you've got some PVC, still got some conduit, open space here. Those are windowed offices there. And they lead into, there's a little bathroom in that back corner. This is a big room that leads into that smaller side warehouse over there. And it's also where, that's the smaller side warehouse. This is where they had ripped out all the AC units. You can't really see those. These doors all are mainly insulated. There's two on that side, and then you've also got two that are not. You've got that big huge roll-up door down there, and then again you've got two insulated doors and two that are not. This is the side of the big building. It's 16,600 square foot approximately. This is a side entrance gate. It does have a box there if you want to wire it. You can see the interstate there. And then this is the smaller building. It's approximately 6,500 square feet. This is the ramp that comes up to the office space of the smaller building. And it really, the office space looks a lot worse. They really kind of went through and tore up most of the drop ceilings in here. This is the electrical room. AC and water heater was in here. The electrical panel box is in here. Of course, it's all been completely stripped. But all the conduit is still everywhere, and that's the top of this ceiling. It's all metal beam. Still quite a bit of insulation. You can kind of see all your ductwork and the metal beams of the building ceiling, or the steel beams, are still pretty intact. There's bathrooms here to the right and to the left. The one on the right actually has a shower, but they have all been stripped there of their sinks. They left the toilets. These have all these goofy little windows in them for natural light. You can see the ceilings there, the beam. That's where they ripped through the plumbing on the bathroom wall. There's another one of those goofy windows. So all your conduit's still in place. They just kind of ripped out the bracing for the drop-down ceilings in a lot of this. This comes back into some odd, big kind of showrooms. This is really just a warehouse storage space. I don't know that you would use it for a lot, but it's got the original ceiling up in there. Some of the insulation has been ripped from it, but it's just concrete floor. This carpet's pretty nasty. This one smells pretty dank throughout. There's a little room in there that's not, you know, there's the ceiling of it. This is one of these weird, you can't really even see, but this is just a big, huge room. You can't see it at all. It's concrete. Okay, that was that big room you couldn't see. There's an outside door there to a warehouse. And then this is another very similar room. It's going to be hard to see. But it's just white walls and fake drop ceilings and fluorescent lights. It does have ductwork vented to it. She said they had it as like showroom space for medical equipment. And then there's another little space here. She said she thought maybe they had a kitchenette in there. It's just kind of open, doesn't really have doors. And then this is really the only true warehouse space on this side. There's a AC unit that's been ripped out, and you've got the big ones in the ceiling there. There's the ceiling. This has a big roll-up door, but this is really the only warehouse space on this side. But where those two odd rooms were that had no windows and stuff, all of that could technically be, those walls could be pushed out, and you could make quite a bit of showroom space there. This is where I was just in. This is the outside of it. This is overlooking the back part of the land, long and narrow. That's a dock of sorts, a loading ramp, I guess you might call it. I think they used to unload big farm equipment years ago. And then you overlook the parking lot for the side and back of the big building. So that's that there. There's that gate that leads to the front and to I-30 there. And then there's where I went in and walked up the ramp at the beginning. Thank you for viewing my video. Don't forget, the best way to know for sure is to come see for yourself.